Today, let us read and enjoy a new story. A Saturday morning. It's an extended reading session. The story is adapted from the famous novel The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain. Before reading the story, let's meet the author. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, known by his pen name Mark Twain, was an American writer, humorist, entrepreneur, publisher, and lecturer. He was lauded as the greatest humorist the United States has produced, and William Faulkner called him the father of American literature. His novels include The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and its sequel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, the latter often called the Great American Novel. Tom, the main character, lives with his Aunt Polly. Aunt Polly assigns Tom the chore of whitewashing the fence surrounding the house. In a brilliant scheme, Tom is able to convince neighborhood boys the joys of whitewashing. Read the story and see what happens next. A Saturday morning. Tom? No answer. Tom? No answer. Where can he be? Aunt Polly asked herself. He must be somewhere here. She went to the door, looked out into the garden, and shouted again, Tom! Tom! No answer. The old lady stood there thoughtfully. Suddenly, she heard a sound behind her. She turned round quickly. There was Tom near the cupboard door. He had jam all over his face. What have you been doing? Aunt Polly asked angrily. When Tom did not answer, she went on. You have been stealing jam again. Don't tell me that you haven't. Haven't I told you 100 times to keep away from that cupboard? Where is the stick? Aunt Polly took her stick and raised it high. She was about to strike Tom hard. Look behind you, Auntie, shouted Tom. Aunt Polly looked behind her. This was Tom's chance. He rushed out of the house. He climbed over the fence. Soon he was far away. Aunt Polly was angry, but she laughed. He's a bad boy, she said to herself. But I love him. He's my poor dead sister's boy, and I must look after him. I don't like to hit him, though I have to at times. If I don't punish him, he will grow up lazy and wicked. Yes, I must be strict. Aunt Polly sighed. I will have to punish him for stealing the jam. But how? I know. Tomorrow is a Saturday and there is no school on Saturdays. The boys have a holiday. But I will make Tom work. That will punish him. The next day, Saturday, was a holiday for school. All the boys in the village were free. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. The trees and flowers looked fresh and lovely. Tom, of course, wanted to go swimming. All other boys were going swimming. Tom came sadly out of the house. He held a long brush in one hand. In the other, he carried a bucket full of whitewash. His aunt asked him to whitewash the fence. Tom looked sadly at the fence. How high it is! How long it is! He thought. Indeed, the height of the fence was 9 feet and its length was 30 yards. Tom put his brush into the whitewash. He drew it slowly across the fence. It made a very small white mark. Tom tried again. Another very small white mark. Tom sat down and sighed heavily. He took out all the things that he had in his pockets. He had some marbles, some pieces of string, and 2 or 3 broken toys. No one will whitewash the fence for these, he thought. No, I must think of a better plan, he thought and thought. Soon he had an idea. He picked up his brush again and began working hard. Ben Rogers was coming down the street. Tom pretended not to see him. He worked harder than ever. Ben was eating an apple. He looked very happy. He was pretending that he was a big ship and was rolling like one. He gave orders in a loud voice and the ship obeyed them. He came up to Tom. He rubbed his eyes. Why, Tom? He cried in great surprise. You are working? Tom said nothing. He went on with his whitewashing. He seemed very much interested in his work. Tom, you are working? Ben repeated. Oh, it's you, Ben? I didn't notice you. I'm just going for a swim. You don't want to come, do you? You like working, don't you? This isn't work, Tom said quietly and went on painting. Not work? Ben exclaimed. Oh no, I like it. Whitewashing is fun. You have never whitewashed a fence, have you? Well, no, I haven't. For a while, Ben stood there watching Tom. Tom paid no attention to him. All his attention was given to his work. At last, Ben said, Let me whitewash a little. Oh no, Ben. I'm going to make this fence look fine. I have promised Aunt Polly. Besides, it's so interesting. Let me do just a little, begged Ben. No, I'm sorry, Ben, but I can't. Aunt Polly said that I must do it myself. If you do it, you will make a mistake. You will spoil everything. It's looking so nice now. I shan't make a mistake. I will be careful. You can have my apple if you let me. Slowly and unwillingly, Tom handed the brush to Ben. Ben worked hard. It soon grew hot, but he went on working. Tom sat there, watching and eating Ben's apple. When Ben had done enough, other boys came along. At first, they laughed at Tom as Ben had done, but soon they too were whitewashing the fence. Of course, they had to pay Tom before he let them help him. They gave him their best things: 12 marbles, a tin soldier, a key, a dog's collar, a handle of a knife, and 4 pieces of an orange. Tom had an easy time. He did not work, but soon the fence had 3 coats of whitewash on it.